Alrighty, welcome back to the High Version Podcast. This is we're back with another episode. I'm back here with Drew, of course. It feels like it's been a while, but I guess it really hasn't been. I just whenever
Um,
what?
I was just trying to think of how long
Yeah,
actually
no,
has
no,
been.
it's fine. I guess whenever I have a game week, it just the time always just seems at least it feels slow, even though it goes relatively fast. But in any case, we're back. Another episode here. Drew, how we doing, man?
Well, first off, we matched today.
Yes, we do match today. I don't know if you can see mine,
Yeah,
but yes, I'm wearing the stealth hoodie,
yeah,
as I
stealthily.
like
I
to
like
call
that.
it. It's awesome.
I'm doing good. Today was a pretty long day, but got through it. It's the first, probably official day of practice, I would say, since first game is tomorrow. So,
Ah,
in the full swing of going from my new schedule of 8 to 4, then straight to practice. So then I went straight to the gym after, and that was what made it longer. It's just because I didn't get back till 8. But
interesting.
we'll see how
So
that
that's kind
goes.
of your schedule is work, practice, gym, home, pretty much. That's pretty much a strict schedule here the past couple of months, or no?
It's
Or
gonna
or
it's gonna
going
go
to
back
be?
and forth. Tomorrow I already talked to Andrew. It's mostly gonna be on game days, I think, but maybe just a couple days here and there too, just because it makes it easier for like later in the day. Is we might work out in the morning, so we're doing that tomorrow because we have since I have a game and it's an away game, so I'll be out most of the day. Um, yeah, I we did a morning workout like 2 weeks ago or maybe last week and it was fine. But it just makes it so it's easier to work out. I don't want to get too into it because then I feel like I'm trying too hard.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Well, I saw you had some fire picks, and you guys won softball, right?
No, we did not win. The picks led to other assumptions, I'm sure. But no, we made the semifinals. So just like you, somehow we were in the semifinals. But we played the first place team, lost 24-4, and it was over. So
I mean, hey, you'll
hey,
have
I
that.
was 2 for 2. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Batted twice in an entire game. I think I ended the season with the best batting average on our team. So I think that's the important part.
I mean, that's all you can ask for, you
Yeah.
know?
And now my Friday nights are free.
Ah,
Finally.
I like it.
So that's good.
So it means more
Um,
time for gaming.
yeah, gaming, and then probably some gaming, maybe a little more gaming. So it should be fun.
Ah, I see. Gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gaming.
Mm, yeah, sure, sure. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, any, anything else before we hop into today's topic? Anything?
I do actually, yeah. I do have one thing. I talk
All
about it
right.
every week. It's merch stuff. I'm feeling nice, you know.
Oh boy.
Uh, so those two things I sent you today, where I was like, "Hey, pick which one looks softer," stuff like that between the two hoodies.
Yes, yes.
Um, I think what I'm gonna do because I looked through like all the hoodies that were on the website I used the first time to make these things, and like this is actually decently comfy, honestly. But like it's probably the cheapest one they have, or one of the cheaper ones at least, just so I could do
Hmm.
it in bulk and do it quick. And the customization wasn't crazy. And the customization on these ones isn't going to be crazy either, I don't think. But I'm feeling nice. I want to make a super, super comfy hoodie. Like it's not going to be like my most in-depth design or something like that, or like flashiest looking thing. But I'm saying I'm feeling nice because I think I'm going to do like 15 of them, and they cost more than the price I'm going to sell them for. So I'm still going to sell them for money, but I'm going to sell them at cost. So I'm not going to make all the money back on it. I'm
Okay.
thinking I think they're going to be around 40 to 50 to make, or like for me to get each. I think I'm going to sell them for 25. I think that's more than fair to sell a hoodie price for,
That's very
because
generous.
hoodies
Yeah.
run way higher. But I'm feeling
Yes.
very generous because it'll be like a little like holiday sweater type thing, or like fall's coming up, so colder weather. You want to sit inside. chill for a bit, throw on your little soft hypervision hoodie.
Yes.
So I gotta work on that, but maybe like 15, which means one for me, one for you, 13 that I actually sell. So
I like it. I like it.
we'll see if I do more or less.
We could,
That's
I
my
guess,
plan for now. I was feeling nice.
let's gauge the interest. I'm sure we can have we'll have suitors, but let's
Yeah.
let this one release and gauge the interest, and see
Well,
what's
that's,
up.
yeah, I think 25 is fair. It's cheaper than the Fast Pass, which is still available. Um, but yeah, it'll be a cool looking hoodie. It'll be comfy. It'll be great.
I like it. I'm a big fan of sweatshirts or in hoodies, so I'm pretty pumped for
Yeah.
that. So, shout out to sponsor Cornhole Legacy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I need a text price so I can see if I can get my cornhole boards.
Yeah, has that been going well?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a little bit, but I told him not to
Oh,
worry about me if because he's doing his chair sales or whatever now.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah.
also kind of forgot about it until my mom mentioned something about cornhole recently, and I was like, oh, I have one. I was like, no, I don't.
Ah, um, all right. So yeah, so today I just kind of want to dive into more like life topics, kind of like discussion based. Tyler mentioned talk about politics, so I think that's what we're gonna start with. No, I'm just
And
kidding.
the podcast is over, everyone.
That would just that's what he wanted, so I'm just trying to please the audience. No, I'm just kidding. So, um, Drew, if there, what pizza topping do you relate to the most?
Okay, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. See, this is what I've wanted out of you the whole time. Probably a banana pepper
Interesting. Okay, why
yeah,
why is that? Why do you think you relate most to a banana
because
pepper?
it's the most underrated topping on a pizza.
Ooh, I
It's
like
got a
it.
little bit of sweet, a little bit of sour. You know,
Interesting.
it's got a little bit
Okay.
of
All
both.
right. I like
I
that a
think that was
lot.
pretty good for on the spot.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like it a lot. No, that was awesome. I was searching around some stuff today and I saw that question pop up and I was like, I have to ask Drew that.
Yeah. So
Um,
what's yours? We'll get that out of here too.
that I don't know, man. Probably like cheese.
So like extra cheese or just like a plain cheese pizza?
No, like just cheese.
But okay, but like you're saying on a pizza, right? So are you saying like, like you can get extra cheese on a pizza or like are you talking about just the cheese on the pizza that comes
Just
with it?
just, just the cheese.
Hmm. Okay, why?
I really don't know. Because I'm just like I'm always there. You gotta have it.
You gotta have it. That's yeah, you gotta have it. That's your line right there.
You gotta
Noah
have
Finley,
cheese,
gotta have
man.
it.
Just call me the cheese.
Big cheese.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
Okay.
I think we both
All
did
right.
really good there.
Yeah, I think so too. That was good. Yeah, but today I want to talk about. I actually had a conversation with a guy at work. We were kind of talking about um, what he kind of wanted to major in school, and he obviously did sport management. And I was just curious. I asked him one day. I was like, if you had another major that you would have wanted to go into, what would it have been? And he said psychology. And we kind of got to think, talking to kind of a little bit about psychology and, basically how just the mind works, how the mind, I guess mental health is grouped in there, but how like you make decisions, you think about things, how you interpret things, stuff like that. So, kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. I know we kind of talked. I know Drew kind of had talked about last time about the I think it was what it's the a guy's mindset, um, correct? At when they're I forget what it was. and they
Like, they have nothing to turn to or nowhere to go for things,
correct.
or they feel like if
Yes.
they're, if you're down, you have to stay down, pretty much.
Yes, so that was we kind of dive deeper into that maybe, but yeah, so I just kind of want to talk about like psychology, how the mind really works and how we interpret things. So, what do you kind of? I guess that's kind of a broad topic, but whenever you think of like psychology and stuff like that, like what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on that sort of topic there?
Um, so, I think I did a little bit of this last season, and this is why I'm very excited for this again to come back because, like with the whole what drives you thing, from last season.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but even I said then, like, I'm not an expert on this or anything, but it's just what really interests me. So if I think of psychology, that's more where mine goes. I think that's just where I'm more interested to see of like, like what really motivates people, what drives people, what makes them who they are. Like, what's that thing that gets them to tick a little bit, and that could be, what makes them snap like at someone, or like what makes them just full on kick into a mode where they're unstoppable, like at work or something like whatever they're doing in their life, like they're gonna do it, they're gonna crush it. Uh, I think it's really interesting to see with because everyone's so different. Like it really is like, and I like you can like I can see it with coaching and stuff like that with soccer season coming back around, and this being my second year and getting a little bit more comfortable with like actually coaching and like figuring out more of a role in there and all that. But just like which player responds better to what kind of like coaching and motivation and what kind of styles and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, that's what I would say on my end. If I think of psychology, I just go straight to what drives them, what motivates them, what really pushes people, and what makes them tick, what makes them do what they want to do.
Okay. No, that's good. Um, so I guess, to go along with that, like, um, mental health, I guess, is a big part of that too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how I want to really go into that. Um, let me see. Um,
I mean, with mental health, I think a lot of that is it can change your mood drastically, for one. Like, I know for myself, there's times where like like when you like just get out of like a little sad depressive state and you're happy, you're like listening to happy music, and all of a sudden, like I don't know if anyone else gets the way you get this way, but like I'll be sitting there and I'll think like, why would I ever not want to feel like this, you know like when you're
mm,
happy, you're in the mood, you're in the like you're feeling great, and then like it hits you that like, oh, I was sad yesterday, like it was a rough day, and now I'm like, why would I ever want to get out of this? But then like when you're in that sad thing and you're like, I genuinely don't care. I'm shutting myself off from everyone. Like this is I'm not talking to someone for like 2 days. And then I don't know. I think it's in my mind. I think that's mental health. Like not being too stable, not being too content with yourself. Um, so your question was something else. I don't know if it was fully that.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just you can really take it however you really wanted to. I feel like that's kind of the same way I feel in a sense. Needing that sense of hey, I'm happy, but why would you why would you ever want to be like sad even
Yeah.
take it like that. It's just kind of interesting how people think like that, but um and you have like emotions come into it as well.
Yeah.
Because then it's like what I talked about with my friend at work. He's like, well, then like what like why would you ever be sad then? Like why, you know what I mean? Like why are we sad then if we can just always be happy? But like I guess, and I was like, well, we have emotions. We still be like the emotional.
If only it was that easy.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that that
Yeah.
that too. But um, there's other factors in that and stuff. How you think. How you feel on like a daily basis, and how something even like can just change your mood like that too, is definitely interesting as well. So yeah. And then I think, to go along, we're going to say something? No. I was going to say, to go along with that, I did think about Drew's topic that we talked about last week a little bit more too. And, I just, the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I'm like, no, that just shouldn't be like, that shouldn't have to be the norm. That shouldn't be what people are preaching on social media, that people have to, stay within themselves, especially, men, especially, but like that shouldn't have to happen. But I mean, what I think and what I think should happen, it's not going to be what everybody else thinks, or you know what I mean. It's not like
Yeah.
so. I don't know. I actually would be intrigued to talk to more people about like that topic specifically, just other than us two, just to see how they feel. But I don't know. I feel like that's a deep topic to talk to someone with. That's not like your close friend or something like that. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
But
It's actually kind of funny that this is the topic you picked today because when I just left the gym, I was talking to Andrew because he listened to the Jameson podcast from this week or
sure,
last week, whenever you listened to this. Because him and Jameson have been best friends longer than I've known either of them. So he's like, it's interesting, like to hear like a different perspective, like talk to him about things and like that, and all that. But
sure,
then like we got to talking about the rest of the podcast and stuff like that, and then I was like, honestly, my biggest goal for the rest of season 2 is because like I have, like for most of my things, I have guests listed out that I'm gonna try to bring on for all of them. Um, and if not, I have more deep topics to like get into. And I was like, I think my main goal for the rest of this season is just to get inside people's heads and see what's going on. Because I'm so like I genuinely want to know. Like I wanted to know what was going on in Jameson's head because he even said like, yeah, I don't talk to people about things, and like that's how he likes it. I don't push him too far really with that.
sure.
Um, but like I was curious. I'm like, what's going on in his head? So like figured a podcast setting is a little bit more of like not a sneak attack, but like I can mask it a little bit more and finally get the answers that I want to hear. But yeah, this is cool because now I get to speak out the goals that I've been wanting to get out of this season with this podcast is just like figure out what's going on in people's brains.
What's going on in my brain? What's going on in my
Well,
brain?
let's do you today. All right, that's good.
What do you want to know?
Let's see. What do
What
I
do
want to
you
know?
what do you want to know that would make you think, I've got inside Noah's head today. I've got
Okay.
inside, like
Yeah,
what's gonna scratch that itch?
we'll just scratch it. All right. So we talked about the whole happy thing. You said in between. You also answered no very quick. More of like a unfinished project, I think is what you said.
Yes.
Something like that. Okay. So I've got that somewhere in my brain. I'm trying to find a way to not ask just straight up what's going on in your head. Let's see. I want to ask my side of it, which was what drives you and all that stuff. What makes you tick and all that? Because I feel like we covered that a little bit. Unless you feel like it's changed, we can hit that. I don't even honestly remember. You said family was big for you. I do know that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we won't cut into all that. Let me just ask you. So, when you think of psychology, what do you think of?
Um, I think it's how people interpret things, and why people think the way they do. Um, and like I said, how they interpret things, their mental state, uh, emotions going on with that. That's kind of what I feel. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
overarching um, thing there. What the heck was that? So sorry.
Got the boogeyman behind you?
And I'm just no.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Would you say for all of those things, is that positive for you? Like, do you feel like you're in a place where that's like you interpret things in a positive manner most of the time, or like uh, like if you're saying like the psychology of your brain, all of those things that you list right there, does that turn into a positive outlook on your life?
I think it can, but I mean, there's some things that I interpret that sometimes I just think of the worst that can happen,
Mm-hmm.
in certain scenarios, and then that kind of like I don't know, it just makes me feel a certain way. Um, and there are times where I interpret things that I think could happen a certain way, and then they just don't happen that way. Um, but like while I'm interpreting like how I think it should go, I get a sense of if of course it's something that I think will be good, and then I get like a sense of like, ooh, like I can do this, like a sense of like confidence, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then then I realized that it never turns out that way. So like these I guess you could say visions in my head, like of how like, or I guess how I interpret how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Sometimes obviously don't go that way, but it can be like a little endorphin booster because I'm like, ooh, yeah, I think it can go this way, but it just never, and sometimes it really doesn't. So
Okay. That's good. Um, so for the things that you would say you interpret negatively or badly most often, what would you say those things are?
um, I mean, really just like life scenarios, honestly, as in like especially like being like alone here. It's like I just always think the worst, like something could happen, or things of that nature, and then that kind of like puts me at ease a little bit. But
So like safety a little bit.
sure, yeah, I think that's
Okay.
certainly in there. And then just other life stuff, with like family and stuff, making sure like hey, if I have a family member in the hospital, I usually always think the worst, and it's like I have to think like, hey, like we can't think like that. You know what I mean? So that's another
Yeah.
thing. And then because when I do that, then my mental state goes down, and then I just I get all these I'm thinking about different things in my head and whatnot. So that's kind of how I go, and it's usually not always good like to like think that way. Because then once I do that, then I some get somewhat like depressed and whatnot, and that just leads to a whole other like a dark tunnel of stuff. So it's it's not ideal, but I mean that's just how I am. And personally, I really don't know if I'll ever like not think that way or like not like get out of that sense of
Okay.
um thoughts.
Took
So
away my next question then. I was gonna see if you ever thought if you could get out of that, or like ways you can see
I
yourself
think
working to get to that point.
I think I can. I don't
I
know.
guess
I
I don't.
mean,
I mean, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know. Like how I said last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, like like the thing of like you never will fully get there. I don't know if you can ever really fully be at a point where you won't have bad or dark thoughts because we're all human. Like the happiest person alive even probably has some dark thoughts here and there. They're probably just better at dealing with it than all those things, like we are. But you know, we're young and dumb. That's fine. We don't need to figure everything out yet.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna
Okay,
jump right in
I'm
here.
good.
What things do you think are holding you back? Because I talked about like the things like
Like
this is what
from
drives
from
me. Well,
what?
I'm saying
Just
like
in
this is
life
we
or
got the things where it's like this is what drives me. This is what makes me go. This is what makes me tick. This is what really pushes me on. What's the opposite of that? What are the things that push you back? What are the things that give you roadblocks? What's the stuff that really like if you have your days where it's just like, oh, it's just not one of my days, and it's because like maybe some that little thing in the back of your head is finally getting through to you. What would you say are the things that are like kind of causing you issues, give you your troubles every day, and I don't know, hold you back?
I think for me really, and I actually never really told anybody about this, but I think really for me it's I've dealt with this my whole life. I really think it's just a lack of confidence in myself.
Yeah.
Like truly, I do. I mean, I've dealt with that, forever. Um, I actually had a coach tell me, one of my little league coaches back in the day, whenever I was younger, told me, you know, you don't have confidence in yourself. He was kind of
Well, if you're starting with Little
mean,
League and you're saying a
to
bad
say the
story,
least.
then
But
yeah, sounds crappy.
but but I mean, I ever since that moment, like I've thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, it's I mean, I think most of the stuff I haven't done in my life is just from severe lack of confidence. I've done stuff in my life, but there's just things that I've you know maybe could have done or taken some opportunities there, but yeah, I just think it's just don't have I just lack confidence in myself, which honestly isn't a good thing. It's something I've tried to improve on, but um, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that's that holds me back.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like not to. I can see that as a thing in your life. Anytime, and maybe it's just how the way you deal with compliments. Everyone deals with compliments the same way, but anytime me, Tyler, Michael, Adam, or anyone like that goes like, "Oh, Noah's this, Noah's this, all the things we list about Noah, and some that I won't say on camera." Um, but you usually just keep going, "No, no, not that. No, that's not me." Stuff like that. Um, and it could have always just been like, yeah, you know what, I don't know how to deal with a compliment or something like that, or like, it's Tyler or Drew or something like that. They're being stupid. Um, so you brush it off. But I guess you know it did. Like, I'm not trying. I don't know how to say it, but like, yeah, it does make sense to me if you feel like you've been struggling with lack of confidence, because I feel like you sell yourself short from a lot of things. Like when we talked about the creativity episode, you just kept going straight to me like, oh, this is what you do. You do this, you do this, you do this. And you're like, and every time you would say it, you kind of went like, wish I was like that. There's always, there's a lot of things where like I've noticed where, you know, I want to almost say, I feel like you are really drawn to people that at least show off confidence. Like the few people that you like, I'm on this podcast like every single time. So obviously I'm here no matter what. I tend to put on a show of confidence usually, or like you saw the picture I posted. Obviously, like that's not a lack of confidence in there. Like I lost 24-4. I
Yeah,
posted a picture looked like I just won the World Series. um, but like whenever we bring up Michael, like you're right there on it. Michael exudes confidence in a weird way
yeah,
sometimes, but and then in the weirdest way possible, there's Tyler, and I feel like you're very drawn to Tyler too. That kid I'd have the most confidence in the world.
yeah,
Because he may be the weirdest person alive. He doesn't care, and he's done everything he wants to, or so far it seems like that way. But that's not enough about other people. Um, it seems a lot like, and maybe it's counterproductive, I don't know. Like, you seem drawn to the people that show off confidence because in one way it like inspires you a little bit, but then there's the way that I think where you get down on yourself because you then get that little thing in the back of your mind of that little douchebag coach in little league baseball, for some reason that thinks he needs to tell a kid that he has no confidence. I don't understand that. Sorry, I bad coaches annoy me.
no, no, that's
Anyway,
fine.
I think then that's where that thought beats the thought right here at the front of your mind of like, I see this, I want to do this. Um, yeah, I talked too much there. I had it.
No, that's fine. I
I
was
had it.
listening.
I had it though.
It was great.
Dang it. You sell yourself short. That was what I was saying. I feel like you sell yourself short just because of the way I hear you talk about yourself. And that's big. Honestly, it is. It's part of the reason I do my ego thing. Part of that, then it gets dangerous. I think I'm over the line sometimes of the confidence and talking good about yourself to make yourself feel better, because it really does. It speaks volumes all the time. Like, if you can't even talk good about yourself, it's probably not going to go too well for you.
Yeah. And, now that you said it, I do that often. I mean, I
I
do.
do my I sometimes I get mean with it, but I do my
But
best to correct you because you always like to throw around the term, oh my ugly mug. You say that a lot, and you're laughing because
yeah,
you
I
know you
do.
do. Yeah, and every time
I know
I
I
think I've
do.
gotten meaner with it. I'm like, just shut up, Noah. Like, stop it. Stop saying it.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Well, you're wrong is the thing because you're not ugly, but it's fine. No, it's I'm not gonna. I don't need to sit here and just sniff your butt the whole time and throw compliments at you. I feel like I do that enough.
Yeah.
Um, I'd also give you a heavy balance of throwing you back down too. I don't want you at my level. It's dangerous up here. Too volatile.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, but I think that's good that you can at least admit it. It takes honestly, I don't know if it takes confidence to be able to say that you have a lack of self confidence in yourself because that's a very vulnerable thing to say. And if like you're saying that's the big thing that's holding you back, I think that takes a lot just to even come up and say that to not just me, but like the millions of people that will hear this. So
Yes, I know. Of course.
yeah, but I
No, I mean, it's just what I would try to. I'm gonna try to work on it. I mean, I'm I've been getting better at like, being real with myself and like admitting like, hey, like you do some things and let's try and be real with ourselves here and like try and either fix it or talk about it, one of the two. So
yeah,
yeah,
not to go all Disney dad on you, but it starts with you. You know, you have to
ah, there,
actually
there you
be
go.
the guy that's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna do good today. Like I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm not saying like do like a daily affirmation thing or anything like that, but like I don't know, the positive attitude from the moment you get out of bed or something like that. Like let me ask you this: when you get out of bed in the morning, positive or negative mindset, outlook?
Try to be
So
positive.
negative.
Wouldn't say it's always
Okay.
negative. If I have something to look forward to that day, then no, it's usually always
All right.
positive. But if it's like, just like a normal day at work, then it's
Yeah.
like,
That's what I want to know. On the days where it's like a normal day, you don't have something right up in front of you you can go and grasp and do, which is the majority of days probably, or not majority, but it's a good amount. There's 365 days in the year. Not every single day is going to be like I got this going on. I love it. So on those days, how does it feel?
um, yeah, some days it definitely is negative.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I guess sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, all right, this is it. You know, I mean, we're kind of just here. I mean, we have stuff to do, we have a job to do, but nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing too exciting. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, I guess.
Then before I get too far away from that or talk too much with it, at night, you go to bed, head hits the pillow, phone's down. How are we? Are you
Um,
magical like Tyler? And the moment your head hits that pillow, you're gone. Because by the way,
no,
the floor down here, Tyler slept on Saturday night, no pillow, on my floor, passed out. I heard him snoring in 2 minutes. The kid's crazy.
dude
He is
is
crazy.
dude is just on another level of
Yeah.
insanity.
All right. Sorry, cut you off.
Uh, no, it's fine. No, I definitely like whenever the phone goes down and my head's pillow, I try and like my mind is usually sometimes
Mm-hmm.
racing. I'm just kind of like thinking of stuff. It's actually sometimes it's when I have like my deepest thoughts. Sometimes
That's not. I'm not.
when
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not saying
laying
it's
there.
bad. I guess if you stay up at night and think about things, but I want to know like what are
Yeah.
those thoughts like? I don't need to know every thought or like any of the thoughts really, but unless you want to share them. But yeah, I just want to know the nature of them.
What was the last part? You cut out.
Like I just want to know like the nature of them, like if they're positive,
Oh,
negative, if it feels like you don't look
I would
forward
say
to the night
it's
coming around.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly positive to an extent. There's definitely some nights that I go to bed with negative. It's definitely negative.
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna lie. Um, but like I try to go to bed with a positive mindset at least, because then that helps me sleep a little bit better.
obviously. Yep.
But yeah,
No, I mean, I guess that's. I'm not saying, and even if like, because you said there are bad nights, I, I don't
yeah,
think even like I said earlier, the happiest person is gonna have bad days. Uh, that's fine, if you have those nights and stuff like that. But the fact that I think you can say, if it's true or not, who knows? But like you can say like you have those times that's bad, but you still try to at least get to a point where you can get to a more positive mindset, and just to like help yourself because I can't vouch for it, but I can say as someone that doesn't get good sleep, it's good. You definitely need good sleep. It's very important to get sleep. Um,
yeah.
and I don't know how I actually can vouch for it technically if I'm saying I don't ever do it, but it doesn't matter. We're not talking about me today. No, it's important. I think sleep is very important to mental health. Um, quality, like even it doesn't
Absolutely.
have to always be 8 hours. Maybe I don't know, but like quality sleep,
Yeah.
making sure um, you go to bed with the right mindset. Like you said, you're trying to do most nights. That's important, I think,
Yep.
and that's good. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that it's really good that I think you at least work to get to that point.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Um. All right. So we don't. We can. You went into the detail. Like you gave me the big one. Do we have any other things that we think hold us back?
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean,
And maybe it's that like things stem off of it from like if the big thing is lack of self confidence, maybe things from that like stem down and like it trickles into other parts of your life. I guess it's kind of what you said earlier, probably, but I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to say um, like friends. Nah, I mean, I guess it just really depends who you surround yourself with. But I mean, I wouldn't say they like hold me back. Um, family, no. I mean, I'm trying to think of things like, I mean,
So let's go through like the big things in your life. You're saying friends you're good with, right?
I would say so. I
All right,
mean,
cool. That means I'm in the clear. Uh,
I keep I keep basically with friends like I keep the ones who I want close and like you know I know that the ones that like they're my friends but they're not like close friends
so if Noah doesn't speak to you on a regular basis, he hates you. Keep that in mind.
I would say most of the people probably all the people that listen to this podcast are close friends
Yeah.
and they're all good people but um so yeah I would think that I don't think they hold me back. I mean if anything I think sometimes they get me out of my comfort zone and maybe exude some confidence from me at some point. So no, actually, I wouldn't say that. I would say maybe my job to an extent. I mean, I don't mind my job, but like at some point, it's like, man, it kind of does kind of hold you back a little bit. Maybe not like career wise, but like just like um
It's demanding time wise and all
uh
that.
yes, that
Maybe drains you a little bit.
yeah, like just more. It's holding me back, like person
Hmm.
wise, like maybe doing things I want to do with either my body or things out with friends or stuff like that. So yeah, I think that kind of maybe a little bit there. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that that's really the big things. Maybe like where I'm at currently. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to go too in depth. We got the big one.
Mm,
Um,
so
but yeah, I think it's good. So before I leave this side, I'm gonna mostly for you and anyone else that's listened and be like, you know what, self confidence is something I really struggle with. Um, I think really like a big thing for a way to see yourself in more of a better light and maybe something like that, or like, you know, working up some better self confidence and stuff like that is one. It like Noah said earlier a little bit, like it's who you surround yourself with. Like if you're around people constantly that are like, not that like they'll sit there and just like be yes men and sit there and say, oh, you're so hot, you're so cool, you're so sweet, like all that stuff. Like, yeah, that's cool every once in a while to hear that. It's funny too. Um, but if you're around people that just like don't really make you feel much better, don't really challenge you to be a better person, or like don't like inspire you to like do more things or stuff like that, I think that's big. Because like I'll look around, like I'll see like Michael's working out, if Jameson's working out, like Andrew wants to work out, Tyler works out, you know, like those people that I see like that talk about it a lot. And I'm only saying this because I think working out is just the easiest way to see results in yourself, really. Like it's, you can physically see it. You can't physically see, you know, if you feel better in your heart or your brain about yourself, or if you have more self-confidence. You can't technically see that. You know, you can like say you can see it through the work people do and stuff like that, and their smile and, you know, maybe like that they glow a little bit more. So that's just why I'm using this. I'm not saying like you have to work out to be a better person. That's stupid. Um,
Yeah.
it's just you can see it with your own eyes. Um, but yeah, that's big. I think is who you surround yourself with. If they challenge you to be a better person every single day, and if they check up on you a little bit, you know, that's important. Check up on your homies,
Very.
and you know, then also my Disney dad thing. It starts with you. Start talking better about yourself. Quit putting yourself down. Um, don't make the first thought about yourself negative. You know, if you hear something about yourself, don't shoot it down. You don't have to sit there and just like, you know, eat it up and soak it all in. Sometimes you just brush it off. Be like, oh, cool, thanks, man. That's fine. Not the whole, oh, nope, not me. That's not me, man. But, you know, you'll figure it out. It's your life. You're talking to a guy that posted a reflective jacket picture in front of a porta potty. So,
Uh,
all right.
I love it.
So, other than let's, you know, we got the family. You know, it's obviously a very important thing. Family and friends are a big thing that drive you. You know, I want to know what other things you think like play into your mindset. Like, what makes you think things the way that you think things? Why do you think, honestly, like, you know, let's see if you can even answer this question because I don't even know if I could. Why do you think your brain is wired the way it is?
um, I think it's wired the way it is because it's how I see things on a daily basis. It's how I saw things whenever I was growing up, and I kind of just take it how I see it,
That's fair.
pretty much. It's kind of hard to explain in a sense
Well, I'm
because
sure. Yeah, you're explaining the
um,
inner workings of your brain, which, you know, like if we got Tyler on here, I think he would malfunction trying to say that.
yeah, I don't know. I just think I think part of it has to do with like just how you grew up and how you were taught to interpret things, and
Yeah.
then kind of now it's like we can kind of we can take what we were taught to interpret, but now like we're at an age where like we can interpret things however we really want to. Like we can make our own decisions about
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. So I feel like it's tough um, to do that, but it's certainly a very deep question, but
Yeah.
one that's very interesting to ask. So
Yeah. No, I mean it's a lot to figure out why people are the way they are because there's so many different like facets of people's lives. Like if I look at my own, like I've got my elementary school, I got my middle school, I got high school because that's all different settings really. And then you've got your
yep,
sports teams, you've got basket like depending on how many sports you played growing up, like you used to play more when you grow up and then narrow it down a bit. But you got basketball, you got baseball, you got soccer, you got, I didn't play football. What else did I play? I don't know. You got rec sports, stuff like that, intramural sports, all that. You got different teams, and all once those teams get bigger, more people come in. Different other people that had way different backgrounds than you did all come together. Then you go to college, and that's you know where the biggest melting pot of people come in with their backgrounds and how they were raised and how they see things. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so that's big.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then it's like once you start to like get inside someone's brain a little bit, and like they start to talk about like, oh well, I feel this way about what am I looking at that I can use as an example? Video games, because like you and me both feel very strongly towards video games, but other people I know like don't care about them at all, and they think like they could be like not destructive, but like they could have negative effects on people's lives and stuff like that, and like hold them back. Maybe they see video games as holding people back, which is wrong. No, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but yeah, no, I mean it's just there's so much of that makes up someone, like not DNA, I guess DNA, psyche. Yeah, that's the word. I didn't go to school for this, but I wish I kind of did. It'd be cool.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
So this was great. I got this. I want to get in people's heads. This is great. Oh man.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good because yeah, we just talked about psychology, and then I think even sports psychology is pretty cool. I know one of the guys I talked to at college actually was going to go for that, or was thinking about changing his major to something of that nature. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get into players' minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was
how they think. So
Alex, the Wilmington coach when we were there, that was what he mastered in. Was
okay.
Sports psychology.
I think it's huge. I think we see it. I know a lot of teams. I think the majority of teams have like some sort of psychological coach now. So
yeah, if you've seen Ted Lasso, I don't know if you have Noah.
No, I have not.
So it's like this. It's based around a Premier League team in England, a soccer team. But the whole premise is like it's an American coach that only coached like college football is the head coach now. So like I only say the soccer part of it, it only enhances, I think, the show. If you like soccer, you don't need to like soccer at all to like the show. I think it just enhances things because you see little things like, oh, hey, I can see what they base that off of, or like all that kind of stuff. Or they throw in little things, little digs, little like Easter egg stuff. But anyway, it's just kind of like that's just the setting of the show. It's like it's a soccer team, but like they leaned really heavily in like this second season. I think it was second season. Yeah. With like bringing in like the sports psychologist, and they leaned really heavily into it of just like how much it weighs on people, like in sports and all this, on athletes and coaches and everything. But I think it's really important, just because we're both people that are big into sports, because sports psychology is something that I think would be really cool to get into one day, because like I even talked about it earlier with coaching, like of just seeing, a lot of it is like motivation and like what really can get the most out of a player, like because it's not just to be like you only like them if they're going to score a hat trick for you every game or something like that, but like at the end of the day, you're there to play soccer with them. It's bigger than soccer. Everything you're doing is bigger than soccer. You're not just there for the sport. But yeah, it's just because there's different ways you can get, like you see it all the time in sports. It's like someone will look like they're like really, really, really bad at the team or something like that. Then they get under the right coach, under the right management, under the right training and stuff like that, and all of a sudden they just take off. And you're like, what switched? And like it was just their mindset. And I quote YouTubers a lot, but it's what I watch. So there's KSI. He's in training for his fight and everything. That's coming up, and this is his like fourth fight, I think, now. And normally, like he looks pretty like not fully shredded out for like his fights and everything until like the day of the fight. That's when he looks like he's the most shredded. But like 2 months out, he was looking like shredded before his fight and everything. Looked like in like best shape of his life probably. And like I saw an interview or like someone was talking to him. They're like, all right, so I've seen you in the first two fights, like the last two fights you had. You didn't look like this at this point in time in camp. And they're like, what changed? He's like, honestly, it was therapy. And I was like, huh, I don't understand how therapy makes you look like chiseled or anything. But then I guess it's more just that mindset. Like he got his head right, and then he was able to then lean into that and kind of just like it ticked for him, and he just pushed forward, and he's trying to crush it now. So I think that's just my
Yeah.
example of like once someone finally gets under the right mindset, that they can just take off.
Yeah. Interesting. No, I definitely agree. So
Yeah,
I think it's good.
this is a fun topic for me, so I do my best to not go crazy.
I like it. I like it. Well, anything else?
I got all I got. Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Well, another good topic. Yeah, another
Yeah.
good topic. Let us know about, give us your thoughts on the potential merch drop
Mm-hmm.
coming that you mentioned. See if we can gauge some interest there, and let us know how you feel about that. And then I think we have some pretty exciting episodes coming up here, especially if you're a fan of the sport, the NFL. So
The
I'm
sport of the
pretty.
NFL.
I've gotten the sport of the NFL. I've been pretty excited for
Yeah.
football season. So I'm pretty stoked. We're getting to. We have preseason going on right now, regular season, and we also have the fantasy football season. So
The important
all of
thing, the
that kind
fantasy
of
football
gets,
season.
yes, it all gets clumped into one. So
The real killer of
fun
mental health,
times.
fantasy football.
Yes, absolutely. So these next couple weeks, you might switch topics, switch some gears a little bit from deep, deep, deep life conversations to more of a laid back kind of just guys being guys sports talk,
Yeah.
which I feel like is like it's can be I think it's needed sometimes just to kind of to kind of do that. So we'll have some guests on, some returning guests, maybe some new guests, and we're gonna have some fun. So
Mm-hmm.
should be an exciting time.
Yeah. I need to confirm with him, but returning guest this next week will be Ian with another serious life topic. So strap in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
But then we move into the NFL,
Love
and
it.
we're good to go.
Love it.
Yeah.
So should be a good time. Um, yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm. Peace.
Peace. Chicken grease.